Do you want to talk about Spyderco? I want to talk about Spyderco. Let's talk about Spyderco. Let's talk about this Spyderco. This is the UKPK. You know, it's probably going to be like, Rob, why are you going to talk about the UKPK in America? Because the UKPK is a highly recommended knife by me. Now, why? I'm going to tell you why. Just stick around. After this annoying it, I'm not going to do that to you. This is the UKPK, and I love this knife, or these knives. I carry them often, and that's why I want to talk about them. So, we are talking about a slip joint. Are we done? We good? We're done? Okay, let's get into the knife. Okay, this is a slip joint. Comes in two variations of blade, but different variations of steel and configurations and colors, flavors, and you know, Spyderco rolls. But I do have three, and there's a reason I have three. It's not just because they're like affordable. Okay, it is because they're affordable, but it's also because they're really slim. They fit in your pocket, and when you go into places like New York, like when I go in New York, like down in the city and stuff, I'm like so scared carrying my knife. I'm like no lie, we went to the top of the Edge building in New York City, and I had to go through a metal detector, and I had my spy opera on me, okay? Because I know that, like, you know, there's certain places you have to have a small blade, and I wanted to do the whole spy opera on Broadway picture, which was really cool and got like no love, but that was me. If you remember that, you saw it in the PM2 Millie group. Maybe the Spyderco group too on Facebook. I don't know where all I posted it. But anyways, yeah, so, you know, I'm sitting there walking around with my kids. I got my spy opera in my backpack, and we go through the metal detectors, you know, $100 and something, like $180 or something. Three of us to get it to the top of the Edge in New York City, just to be really high up and scared essless. Almost lost my spy opera. And the guy, like, I tucked it like way in the back, bottom of the pocket, like inside the bag, and I had, you know, the back rips open like a duffel bag style. It's a mystery ranch bag, and he totally didn't find it. Enough about that. I kept my spy opera. I was so scared I was gonna have to throw it away. But this was like one of the other knives that I carry when, like, I go to New York and stuff. I always carry like a UKPK. I carry slip joint knives because I don't know what the knife laws are. So it's a nice small blade, non-locking. And this has really turned into like one of my favorite fifth pocket carries. I love fifth pocket carries. So let's talk about it, because you're never going to catch me with less than two knives if I'm wearing pants. I have a fifth pocket. In shorts, I'll wear one knife. This is great in shorts. This is great in shorts. Great way to work in. Or if you can fit it in your fifth pocket or back pocket or on your waist, whatever you want to carry. It is nice and light. It is a slip joint, which means there is no lock. And the cool thing about slip joints is you can handle it with one hand. And if you really want to, yes, you can Spidey flick it. It's a little harder to do. It takes a lot of wrist. This one might be a little more broken in, easier to do, but you can totally thumb flick it. You got to break through that first detent. Get to that second one. This is a little bit of a tight area, so a little harder to do, but it can be done. Okay, so it's kind of fidgety, you know, sit there and go through detents, you know. The nice thing about that middle detent is that it's not going to chop your fingers off when you're closing your knife, so you can totally do it one-handed, like that. Hit that detent, clear your fingers, and close it. Okay, now I do have three. This one is in the blue with the S110V. This one is a little different blue. I think it's cobalt blue and Spy 27. As you can see, there is a little difference in the shades of blue. This one is a little lighter. This one's a little more like a navy. So this has that little bit more like, I don't know, royal blue? This is that little darker, deeper navy blue. May not show up so well on camera. And then this one is the actually this is BD1N CTS. I thought it was S30V. This is CTS BD1N and the drop point blade, which is really cool, much like the Stretch 2. If you saw my Stretch 2 in another video, you'll know that it looks like a tiny Stretch 2. That's actually what attracted me to this the first time. This was the first one I got, and I liked it, and I wanted a leaf blade, and I wanted to try out the S110V. So I got the S110V, and then I don't even know why I got the Spy 27. I think it was just to try out the Spy 27 to see how it was. So I bought it in this because it's cheaper to buy these. So you can kind of try out the different steels. These are like 70, 80 bucks. At least they were. I don't know what they are today, so don't quote me on that. But yeah. So the S110V, this is my experience with a S110V. I don't have any other models in S110V that I can think of. It is a very hard stainless steel. It is also a little more brittle than like an S90 or S30 or S45VN. It is more brittle, harder to sharpen, but holds an edge an extremely long time and very stainless. And this has destroyed a lot of boxes and has never needed sharpening. I've not sharpened this at all. And I've literally destroyed, I don't even know how many Amazon boxes and packages. Yeah, I can't even tell you, but a lot. And it's still crazy, crazy sharp. And I do have paper just to demonstrate, just for you. I know you're going to be like, Rob, don't tell me how sharp it is. Show me how sharp it is. You hear it's getting a little toothy, which is fine. Little strop, I'll clean that right up. Now, the Spy 27 is very much an analog of the S35EN. And not exactly, but it's extremely close. You can tell this is a little sliceier, not so used. And then we have the BD1N, which is a great steel. It's getting a little toothy, kind of in between the two. This one has seen a lot of use. Spy 27 is very much like S35EN. It's easy to sharpen, good stainless, and a hardness. I think the hardness is probably in that 59 to 61 range, that like Chinese M390 range, whereas S110V, you're getting into higher hardness. I don't want to say these are like 62 to 64. It could be higher. It could be like 66. Of course, you start getting into high hardness, you get into a brittle blade, and it can become chippy. So what happens is those carbides, you know, you want to find that balance where the carbides interlock, you know. So you get that nice interlocking carbide when you're sharpening. If the carbides get too big and they're not interlocked and you're sharpening, you end up like kind of chipping one out like that. So this is what you want to avoid. So, you know, when you're stropping them, you're taking the edge and you're just lining it back up. And the good thing about S35EN is it's super easy to strop. So, you know, a little bit of use on S35EN, you throw it on a strop, get that edge nice and lined up fairly easily, sharpens up really nicely, good stainless. Yeah, it's pretty good ability of, if you say that, ability of being stainless, not stain proof, stainless. I gotta explain this to people. Okay, it's not stain proof. It's just harder to stain, less likely to stain. S110V is harder to stain than S35EN. S35EN is harder to stain than BD1N. BD1N is a stainless. It's a softer stainless. It's also not a powder metallurgy stainless. So BD1N is a ingot steel. If I'm not mistaken, it's an ingot steel, where S35EN is powder metallurgy and S110V is powder metallurgy. That means that they take the very fine powder of the metal and blend it and then turn it into steel, versus an ingot that's melted together. So this is ground up, it's real fine, it's blended better, you end up with tighter carbides. Tighter carbides means a more consistent strength, and when you're sharpening, the carbides are tighter, so you get a smoother sharpen. versus you have different composites that aren't mixed so well, you might chip. You end up with chips, and that's what you end up with when you get into the ingot steels and sharpening. You can chip it, so you got to be very careful. So you can get a nice mirrored edge on ingot steel. It's going to be easier to do it on a powder metallurgy steel, and the powder metallurgy steel is going to be stronger because it's got nice tight carbides that are more consistent and spread evenly. Okay, enough about the science. There you go, you picked Rob's brain. Okay, back to the UKPK. So again, this is a 5th pocket carry for me. I wear FR jeans, so I'm around electricity. I have very deep 5th pockets. This may not work with all jeans. Some jeans do have shallower pockets, and there's models to wear with that. But if you can pull it off, this is an awesome 5th pocket because of the one-handed ability. Okay, they are 7 inches, just about 7 inches. A blade coming in at a 1/16 under 3 inches on the leaf point, and just about 3 inches on the drop point. The handle is going to be the same. We're talking about 4 inches on both, and an edge on the leaf point at 2 5/8, and the drop point we're talking 2 3/4. As far as the weight goes on these, they are extremely light. This is the benefit of them. So in grams, the leaf point is 48.6. 48.4, imagine that, look at that. So that Spot 27 is 0.2 grams lighter than the S110V. Is that real or not? 48.4, 48.3. How about it's a cheap scale? 48.3, 48.6. That's a cheap scale. Okay, I mean, come on, we're splitting hairs. Drop point 47.6, so even lighter. Even lighter on the drop point, probably a little bit less steel. In ounces, that's going to be 1.68 on the drop point and 1.7170, we'll call it 1.7 on the leaf point. So extremely light. Hardware on both is going to be the same. These are not pinned. It looks like we're going to be at a T8 on the pivot and the body and the clip. So we are T8 all around. Kudos to Spyderco for not dropping it down to a 6. Good job there. Do have the metal spring that is, yeah, basically like kind of springs up and down. So I believe it's like a spring in there, if I'm not mistaken. That's what kind of pulls it back down. Could be, maybe, maybe not. However they did it, it's magic. That's what it is. There's the show side. Get a close-up of the show side. And a close-up of the carry side, or whatever side, the not-show side. Show side, not show side. Let's go with that. These have great ergonomics on them. So you do have a nice choke up here. Get jimping on the back on all of them. You can feel it. Put your hand right on there and just, I mean, comfortable. I got big hands. The Milwaukee XL Nitrous gloves 2XL. hands. Like, they're massive. Easy to handle. Super lightweight. These are great shorts carries. And again, just great for when you're traveling. If you're not sure of a place or you're going to another country or something, you can't carry a locking blade, you know, you got to check it in. It's got to go through bag check. It's going to have to get carried in the bag. Don't carry it in your carry-on, or you'll end up in a video. Actually, it won't even, because they're going to take it and sell it before it even gets in a video. It's not going to make it to those TSA unboxing. Those things are disgusting. Okay, enough about that. Let's do some comparisons. Okay, I'm only going to keep one leaf blade out. I'm going to put these, and then we're going to sandwich typical carries in the middle. Starting with, well, I'm going to start with an Asher, just because I recommend it to anybody. 7.4 inches, perfect carry. Looks like a $1,000 knife, and they can be had for under 200 bucks. Starting with the more popular models, let's go with the Benchmade Bug Out. Now this is very comparable as far as width goes to the Bug Out. Matter of fact, let's just go ahead and get a comparison. The UKPK on the body is 0.356. The Bug Out is 0.407, so thinner than the Bug Out in the handle. The spine at the top is 0.995. We all know the Bug Out's going to be thinner there at 0.88. I think 0.088 is the Bug Out. If I'm not mistaken, we should be able to get down to about 0.88. The drop point's going to be the same here. We're at 0.93. And the tip, who cares? I don't care. Because I can't get an accurate reading. I don't know. I mean, you move it a little bit and it's just way off. But, you know, to get a basic idea of the spine thickness, the Bug Out is a little bit thinner. And we can go comparisons like this. And you can see that the Bug Out is ever so slightly thinner. And actually, you can tell there, the leaf blade is a little bit thicker than the drop point. At least it looks that way. What the caliper said, I don't remember. I'm a goldfish. And there is the Bug Out. Next up, we have the Adamas or Adamas. The small one, the mini, the 2. I think there was an original Adamas. It's the Adamas 2, but this is the mini. Because the original Adamas, I believe, was D2. This is Crew Wear. This is the SHOT Show limited edition, which is really awesome with the maroon handles. Here comes the Arcade. Highly recommended. Titanium with the nice cool shark lock. I think it's called the shark lock on both, but it's definitely the same lock as the 80-20.5, which I do recommend. Great carry. A little overpriced with the materials, just saying. OS10A and FRN for the price I paid. It's a little ridiculous. Yeah, I said it. Let's bring out the Hogue Deca. I know I said like I wouldn't recommend it, but I mean, it is a USA made blade. If you can get 20 CV, USA made, Hogue, I mean, come on, for all its gun nuts, Hogue, it's Hogue. The price isn't bad. Yeah, I mean, I would recommend it. It's a good knife. Let's get into something a little more Chinese. The QSB Penguin. You can see it is the size range of the USB Penguin, and honestly, like, this Penguin is a 5th pocket carry for me in jeans. It's a 1st pocket carry in shorts. That's just how I do it. I'm weird. Let's get a actual 5th pocket. Let's go with the Boston Raccoon. Raccoon Cub? Yeah. The Boston Raccoon Cub, give you an idea. Love the Raccoon Cub. Great little knife. Now we're going to get into some Spydercos, because that's what we're all about. And that's what this is all about. So we'll start off with the popular ones. There's the Para 3. Very similar in length. Para 3 is much thicker. Much thicker. But Para 3 can be a 5th pocket carry for me if I'm working. Great in shorts. The PM2 or Paramilitary 2. Got the BBB. The big beautiful bill. Big brown bear. Anybody else excited about the big beautiful bill? I mean, come on. Tax deductible car interest on USA made vehicles, 25 to 28. If you make up to 100,000, that's what kind of kills. So if you make up to 100,000, then it's $200 less for every $1,000 over 100,000 you make. But if you bought a new vehicle, you can refinance it. Definitely a big help. Okay, we're going to move into the Urban. This is the Maniago. I believe that was a sprint run with Damas steel and another slip joint. I know it's got the plastic. I don't carry it. I don't carry it because I like these. I like the UKPKs. But I love the Damas steel combination. Great sale on them. And I never took the plastic out. So I like to display it on my wall. And because I display it on my wall, I tend to forget I have these knives. Because I'm never looking up. I'm looking at my case or cases. And as we learned, the Alcione or Alcione. Very similar size. Much thinner. And it looks so much thinner. It is a lower profile. Very, very similar in length because it's about the same length, 7 inches. Okay, next in China, we're going to bring out the Tenacious. This is a very popular model that is affordable. So much smaller than the Tenacious, much thinner than the Tenacious. But yeah, that's like an inch shorter than the Tenacious. Let's go to China. Sorry, Taiwan. Taichung. This is the Chaparral. So this is a 5th pocket carry for me. The Chaparral is, I don't carry this one. I carry the lightweight a lot. I do like the Chaparral. It is a backlock, so you must like backlocks. And we're going to get through a couple more backlocks here. So there's the Chaparral. I'm saying that right? Right? Chaparral? Like Dave Chaparral? Or Chappelle? Here's the Sage 1, which is the same size as every other Sage. Pretty sure. Make a liar out of me. I'm positive. They're all the same. Here's a 3. The 3 feels bigger, but I guess they're the same size. I'll have to make a video on the Sages. And I'll move into Japan. We'll start with the Dragonfly. Truly 5th pocket carry. Or purse knife. Bag knife, purse, I don't know. Whatever you want it to be. Awesome model. My big old hands fit the Dragonfly. It's fun. You have to love Spyderco. I mean, you either love Spyderco or you hate Spyderco. I'm not sure there's any in between. I mean, I'm sure there is a fringe that is like, every other knife company, but it seems like most people, they love Spyderco and kind of sets a standard, or they just hate Spyderco all around. This is the Delica. And after the Delica, we're going to do the Endura, but I'm not going to go any further with the Secchi City because there's a lot of Secchi City models and they are large. Okay, maybe one more. This is an Endura I forgot I had because I actually keep all my Damascus on the wall and I forget to look up. So that is very attainable, Knife Joy exclusive. They run sales on these all the time. You can get them like $100. Recommend it if you're a Spyderco guy. This is a Temperance 3. This is probably my favorite Secchi City model because it's got a compression lock. Maybe my second favorite. There's another one that is the PM2 size. I'll have to get that out. That's in another case, but I forget what it's called. It's really cool, really big. ATR at the ready. At the ready too. I'll do a video on it. So Temperance 3 coming in about the length. Really cool model. You know, there's other cool models, the Leaf Jumper, the Rock Jumper. I love the Leaf Jumper and the Rock Jumper. Those are really awesome. Sad they discontinued the Rock, but maybe they only discontinued the serrated Rock Jumper. Let's move into the US and bring out the Little Native, which is 100% a fifth pocket carry for me, but also very good for like kids. Like kids each have a Little Native, nice and small, and the compression lock. One thing I do love about the compression lock is if you have kids and they're scouts and they carry, like the compression lock is a great way to, like a button lock, keeps their hands out of the way of the blade, and I love that. So I do praise Spyderco on the innovation of bringing the basically almost like the top liner lock, the compression lock, and the button liner lock. I mean, they pioneered that with the smock, and you know, until that patent ran out. So those are great for kids. This is the Native 5 back lock. About the same size profile. Native 5 is a little bit thicker. Let's bring out one more Taichung, just because it's my favorite. The Domino. This was the Blue Ridge Knives exclusive, if I'm not mistaken. So this is a red carbon fiber. They are hard to find. If you can find one, get one. It's a Reeve integral lock. And it's got full titanium liners with a G10. This is a carbon fiber peel ply G10 only. I believe it's G10 and carbon fiber peel ply. And I have another one that's a G10. It's really, really cool. But back flipper, frame lock. Come on, Spyderco, bring back the Domino. Just make it normal again. Bento's box, I think Bento's box shop. What it's called. I think he has a the G10 one. I have one. It's blue. I believe it's from Bento's. I think he keeps it regularly in stock. Don't quote me on that. I could be wrong, but you know, if you have a chance to get one, just if you like Spyderco, this is like a frame lock Mannix 2. If you don't believe me, I'll bring out the Mannix 2. We'll do a head-to-head. Very similar. Mannix 2 is a little bit bigger, but it's that nice leaf shape, larger carry. So there's the Mannix 2. This one is actually started out as a lightweight CPM Rex 45 and became a not lightweight on aluminum scales from original goat. And we'll wrap it up with the Shaman because it's popular. If you have a Bodacious, I want to know what you think. I have not bitten the bullet on the Bodacious. I'm waiting for like a sprint run or exclusive or something that's not the normal production to come out, and then I'm going to jump and get one. I'm interested to have one. It's interested to see what it's like, because I think the finger choil is gone, right? They take the finger choil out. And yeah, it's basically like a regular knife without a finger choil choke out the bodacious. Same as a shaman, pretty much. I could be wrong. I was known to be wrong once. And we're gonna round this up with Ida, the Everyday X, coming in and blade length and edge and handle. There we go. The Everyday X. If you don't have one, get yourself one. You're not a man in 2025 if you're not wielding an axe. Then don't cross your legs. We're gonna leave it at that. If you like what you saw, you know what to do.
I made you a logo.
I love it, buddy. But you gotta sign it.
MR Knives, Jack.